Hey, it's Tom, and I'm reading my memory of Mama and Papa. And when you're reading the book and flipping through the pages, you'll notice mine is 3 pages long, and it's on the left-hand side of the page. That's twofold reason. One, Jennifer wrote on the right-hand side of the page and not the back, but that's not why I chose to do this. The second is I'm left-handed, and for those who aren't left-handed, it's much easier to write on the thin portion of the left-hand side than it is on the thick portion of the right-hand side. It's hard enough with my left-handed chicken scratch to make it legible, and that was the easiest solution. So kind of a dual-fold reason. Anyhow, since it is left-handed chicken scratch, I figured I would read it for those who can't interpret all of it. So here we go. Tom Beal, Tuesday, November 6, 2018, 11:35 a.m. When I think of Mama and Papa, I think of the house and property on Boughton Hill Road. Man, if the barns, house, and land could talk, there'd be a series of movies bigger than Harry Potter, full of laughter, love, chaos, and drama that would bring the audience from literally laughing harder than they've ever laughed to being as terrified as watching Halloween to crying uncontrollably, dealing with loss and drama. For me, there's that vast range of emotions, yet the ones most prominent are the memories full of joy, laughter, love, and happiness. Memories like, 1, Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners, which were full of laughter. "I'm about to bust," Papa's famous saying. Great conversations and stories, plus amazing food. 2, many hours of watching TV shows together. MASH, All in the Family, Alice, Happy Days, Mary Tyler Moore, and Planet of the Apes on the weekends with Mama. 3, the animals, from Maggie to the barn cats, to the Dalmatian and Doberman, which all weren't theirs to begin with, but they inherited them from us and Paulette, to the horses and the ponies. Let's talk about the ponies for a second. I have no clue how, but I ended up with 2 ponies that weren't even fenced in on the property, Fonzie and Leather Tuscadero, that roamed around like 2 big dogs. People would come down the long driveway and not know what to do when the ponies walked over to their car. The animals all received love and care and taught me and all how responsibility worked by taking care of them. 4, plowing the long driveway with Papa in the winter. 5, Mama's sewing room and how she would create shirts and pants for all of us, and then the amazing outfits for her dolls. She sure could sew. 6, Papa's office. He and Mama would go in there for paperwork and phone calls, and I recall when they got a mini copy machine in the 80s. 7, the kitchen table, where they would sit and drink coffee while listening to the AM news, Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story, and Rush Limbaugh, and discuss and argue sometimes about current affairs. 8, Papa's wood shop and then Mama's doll studio in the barn. He was a masterful carpenter and quite the handyman all around, fixing and creating anything with wood, electricity, plumbing, etc. You name it, and Papa could fix it. Mama became one of the greats at doll making and teaching others how to make them too. 9, Kathleen and Billy's high school graduation party. At 8 to 10 years old, I saw a lot. I think people are still talking about that party. 10, Atkinson school sleepover on the hill. Definitely would not be allowed today. Saw a lot that evening too. 11, the family gathering for the send-off to North Carolina when Mom was moving with her and I to North Carolina to go live with Cliff. Wow, that was a rough, emotional send-off to say the least. Obviously, there are many more stories and memories from that home and property, but those were at top of mind. As far as lessons learned, there were also many. The one that I feel reminds me most of Papa when I was about 9 years old and at work with Papa in a house he and his crew were laying hardwood floor. He handed me a broom and told me to go clean up that room. A, that room was a total mess, and B, Papa nor his crew had ever gone into that room, as I told him, but Papa, we didn't make that mess and never even went in that room. He kneeled down next to me, put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Yes, I know that, Tom, and it's a shame that someone would make a mess like that and leave it behind. However, I've decided that me and my crew will always leave a house better than when we got there, and sometimes that means cleaning up other people's messes." At my young age, I'm not sure if I was fully behind that reasoning, but I did clean that room up very well, and afterwards when Papa looked in there and said, "Good job, remember to always leave a place better than when you got there," as he patted my back. Not only have I taken that message to heart since, and it has proven to work quite well for me, but I would like to point out that I know Papa, by being who he was, did in fact leave this world in a better place, and am forever grateful. By observing Mama, a similar lesson shined through. All she did, which from my perspective is, if you're going to do something, you may as well do it with all you've got, aka go for it. Dream big and go big. Whether it was cooking, sewing, creating dolls, or whatever caught her attention, there was no half effort. It was all or nothing. Give it your absolute best, even photography. That too has served me very well, except on occasion with alcohol. On my journey, all or nothing. It's been quite the journey for all of us, and I owe so much to the lessons learned from and the love from Mama and Papa, and each of you as well. All of our best are yet to come. Make today great. Love, Tom. 12/27. Finish that. And obviously I left out, the football game with Papa and his crew on that side of the barn. That was a fun football game. The green Kawasaki motorcycle. That was always fun. Lots of fun stories that obviously didn't make it into this brief writing, but I think you get the drift. So anyhow, I'm looking forward to reading other stories, and I thank Kathleen for thinking of this, putting it together. Her story is awesome. Jen's story, awesome as well, and I look forward to reading others. Okay, miss you, love you, talk with you soon. Make today great.